Have you ever wondered why, when you step into a room full of people, you feel drained instead of energized? Why you often sense things others can't? And why being in the crowd feels heavy on your spirit? It's not because something is wrong with you. It's because something is different about you. When you are chosen, set apart with a unique calling, your energy simply does not mix with the noise of the masses. Chosen ones live with a purpose that most people cannot understand. They carry a light that is not meant to be dimmed in the company of every voice, every influence, and every environment. That is why being around too many people can become more of a burden than a blessing. When you are chosen, your spirit is sensitive. You don't just hear words, you feel intentions. You don't just see faces, you discern hearts. And this awareness makes it difficult to blend in with the crowd, because crowds carry mixed energies, hidden motives, and distractions that can easily interfere with your clarity. Isolation for the chosen one is not loneliness, it is alignment. It's in the quiet that your soul receives its guidance. It's in the stillness that you hear the whispers of wisdom, the nudges of destiny, the calling of your higher path. If you spend too much time surrounded by people, you begin to absorb their fears, their doubts, and their chaos. And soon, you forget the voice within that is trying to lead you. The chosen cannot afford to be overly social, because their mission is not built on popularity. It is built on purity. Their circle must be small, because not everyone can handle the weight of their vision. Some will misunderstand it, others will envy it, and many will attempt to pull them away from it. Protecting your spirit is not selfish, it is necessary. So if you've ever wondered why you don't quite fit in, why parties leave you drained, why large groups overwhelm you, or why solitude feels more like home than the crowd, it is because your energy was designed to be guarded. You are not meant to walk with everyone, only with those who sharpen your spirit and fuel your fire. The chosen ones cannot be around a lot of people, because their presence carries an assignment. And in order to fulfill it, they must stay light, stay clear, and stay close to the source that called them. One of the defining traits of a chosen one is spiritual sensitivity. This sensitivity is not about being fragile or weak. It is about being deeply aware, deeply connected, and deeply in tune with what others cannot perceive. While most people move through life reacting to words, actions, and appearances, the chosen one moves through life sensing energy. They pick up on what is unspoken. They notice what others overlook. They can enter a room and feel the atmosphere shift, even before a single word is spoken. This is not a gift everyone carries. For most, the world is only what they see and hear. But for the chosen, the world is a deeper vibration. They can feel intentions hiding behind a smile. They can sense tension in silence. They can detect heaviness in laughter. That is why chosen ones often struggle in environments filled with many people, because they are not just hearing voices, they are absorbing frequencies. They are not just having conversations, they are discerning spirits. Imagine living every day not only processing your own emotions, but also carrying the weight of everyone around you. The crowd that others find exciting, the noise that others call fun, often becomes exhausting for the chosen one. Why? Because their sensitivity makes them aware of every layer beneath the surface. To them, there is no such thing as just being in the room. They are in tune with the room, whether they want to be or not. This is why chosen ones are sometimes labeled as too quiet, too withdrawn, or even anti-social. But it's not that they dislike people. It's that their spirit doesn't allow them to ignore what others ignore. They are not comfortable pretending everything is fine when they can feel what's really going on beneath the surface. And while others may dismiss this sensitivity as a weakness, it is in fact a divine form of discernment, a compass that helps the chosen navigate the unseen world. Because of this, chosen ones must be very careful about their environment. They cannot spend too much time in places where the energy is chaotic, toxic, or draining. Their spirit is like a finely tuned instrument. It resonates with purity, but it also feels dissonance more sharply than others. Just as a harp cannot stay in tune when it is left in a storm, The chosen one cannot stay spiritually aligned when constantly exposed to unhealthy vibrations. This is why solitude is not only beneficial but essential. When the chosen one withdraws, it is not because they are running from people. It is because they are recharging their spirit. They are realigning themselves with the source of their strength. They are tuning back to the frequency of peace, clarity, and purpose. Without this solitude, the noise of the world would drown out the still, small voice that guides them. Spiritual sensitivity also means that chosen ones are often ahead of others in awareness. They can sense dangers before they manifest. They can discern opportunities before they are obvious. They can feel shifts in relationships, workplaces, and even in the world at large, long before anyone else notices. This gift can feel heavy at times because it separates them from the crowd. But in truth, it is what protects them. It is what guides them. And it is what makes them different. Chosen ones must learn to honor this sensitivity rather than suppress it. Many spend years trying to fit in, forcing themselves into crowds, environments, and social circles that drain their spirit. They tell themselves, maybe I just need to get used to it. But the truth is, you are not meant to get used to what is not meant for you. You are not called to ignore your inner compass just to satisfy the comfort of others. When you accept your spiritual sensitivity, you stop apologizing for it. You begin to protect it. You realize that not every room deserves your presence. Not every conversation deserves your participation. And not every person deserves access to your energy. You start to understand that being chosen means living with boundaries. Boundaries that guard your purpose, your peace, and your power. So if you often feel things deeply, if you walk into places and your spirit feels unsettled, if crowds leave you drained while solitude leaves you restored, it is because your gift is sensitivity. You are not just navigating the seen world, you are navigating the unseen. And that, more than anything, is why chosen ones cannot be around a lot of people. One of the greatest challenges a chosen one faces is the overwhelming distraction that comes from being surrounded by too many people. Crowds may appear harmless, even exciting, to the average person. But for someone carrying a divine assignment, the noise of the crowd does not inspire. It interferes. It clouds the inner voice of guidance and disconnects the chosen one from the clarity they need to walk their path. The truth is this: every voice carries weight. Every opinion, every suggestion, every piece of advice carries energy. And when you are chosen, your purpose requires precision. It demands that you walk with clarity and focus, because even the smallest distraction can pull you off course. The crowd may not mean harm, but their presence often dilutes the sharpness of your vision. Think about it. When you are trying to listen to a whisper, you cannot do it in a stadium full of shouting voices. Guidance from above often comes as a gentle nudge, a still small voice, an inner knowing. If you surround yourself with the chaos of too many voices, you will lose the ability to distinguish that whisper from the noise. This is why chosen ones cannot afford to stay in the crowd for long. It weakens their connection to the source of their strength. Distraction does not always appear as something negative. Sometimes it comes dressed as friendship, entertainment, or opportunity. The crowd might not pull you into danger, but it will pull you into business. And business is the enemy of clarity. When your mind is constantly reacting to external noise, you cannot hear the instructions meant only for you. Your path is unique. Your calling is specific. That is why the noise of the crowd, even when it seems harmless, becomes dangerous to your destiny. Another reason crowds are difficult for chosen ones is that crowds thrive on conformity. In large groups, people tend to think alike, act alike, and move alike. But chosen ones are not meant to blend in. They are meant to stand out. When you are in the crowd too long, you begin to unconsciously absorb its rhythm, its way of thinking, its values. Before you know it, you are silencing your inner voice just to avoid conflict or misunderstanding. And when you silence your voice, you silence your purpose. The crowd also demands attention. It constantly calls you to be on, to respond, to engage, to give pieces of yourself. And while there is a time for community and connection, there is also a danger in giving too much of your energy to too many people. The more you pour out into the noise, the less you have left for your true assignment. That is why chosen ones often feel drained after long social interactions. Not because they are weak, but because their energy is sacred. The chosen one must learn to embrace separation, not as isolation, but as preservation. To stay aligned with their mission, they need periods of silence, solitude, and stillness. This is where the distractions fade, where the voice is quiet, and where the whisper of guidance becomes clear again. The crowd cannot give you your assignment. The crowd cannot show you your destiny. Only in the silence do you receive that. And here's the paradox. While the crowd may call you selfish for stepping away, in reality, you are protecting the very thing that allows you to serve at a higher level. If you lose your clarity to the noise, you lose the ability to impact others. Your separation is not rejection of people. It is preparation to serve people in the right way. So, if you often feel overwhelmed by the noise of too many voices, understand this: it is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is your spirit telling you that your guidance cannot compete with the chaos of the crowd. Protect your silence. Guard your focus. And know that your destiny is not hidden in the noise, but revealed in the stillness. For the chosen, clarity is everything. And that clarity cannot survive in constant distraction. That is why chosen ones must learn to step away from the crowd, not because they are better, but because their calling requires it. One of the greatest misconceptions about the chosen ones is that their seasons of solitude mean they are lonely, broken, or left behind. But the truth is, isolation is not a punishment. It is a process. It is not loneliness. It is alignment. It is in isolation that the chosen one finds clarity, and it is in silence that their spirit is strengthened for the path ahead. When you are chosen, you cannot live like everyone else. Most people fill their lives with constant noise, conversations, entertainment, and endless distractions. Because silence makes them uncomfortable. They are afraid of what they might hear when everything grows quiet. But for the chosen, silence is not empty. Silence is full. It is in the quiet that they begin to hear the whispers of wisdom, the guidance of destiny, and the direction for their next step. Isolation creates a sacred space where clarity is birthed. When you step away from the crowd, from opinions, from distractions, you begin to see yourself and your path with fresh eyes. You start to notice the things that were clouded by noise. The confusion you once carried begins to dissolve, and in its place comes a new sense of certainty. In isolation, you do not lose yourself. You find yourself. Many people fear being alone, but the chosen ones discover that aloneness is not emptiness. It is intimacy. Intimacy with their higher calling, intimacy with their purpose, intimacy with the voice that guides them. This is why isolation is not a curse for the chosen. It is a gift. It is not an abandonment. It is a refining. It is the stage where distractions are stripped away and focus is sharpened. Think of it like a seed. A seed cannot grow on the surface, exposed to everything and everyone. It must first be buried in the dark, in isolation, hidden from the crowd. And in that hidden place, it begins to develop roots. The chosen ones are no different. Their season of isolation is where their roots are established. Roots of strength, wisdom, resilience, and clarity. Without this hidden season, they would never have the foundation to carry the greatness waiting to bloom. Isolation also teaches the chosen one the difference between company and connection. Being around people does not always mean you are truly connected, and being by yourself does not mean you are disconnected. In fact, chosen ones often find that their deepest connections come when they are in solitude, when they connect with the source of life, when they align with their inner self, and when they reconnect with the vision they were born to fulfill. But let's be honest, choosing isolation is not always easy. At times, it can feel like rejection. It can feel like you are missing out, like you are being left behind while everyone else is moving forward. Yet, the chosen must remember separation is preparation. The very thing that feels like it is holding you back is actually the thing positioning you to leap ahead. The time spent in isolation is not wasted time. It is invested time. It is the sacred season where strength is built, perspective is gained, and clarity is restored. The danger of never embracing isolation is living a life constantly shaped by the voices of others. If you never separate from the crowd, you will never truly hear yourself. You will never discover what you believe, what you value, or where you are being called to go. But in isolation, you strip away the noise until only the truth remains, and that truth becomes your compass, guiding you forward with certainty. So, if you find yourself in a season of solitude, do not see it as loneliness. See it as alignment. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. You are not being abandoned. You are being positioned. And while others are lost in distraction, you are being sharpened in clarity. Remember this: the chosen ones cannot fulfill their purpose without isolation. It is the sacred ground where transformation happens. It is the hidden room where vision is born. It is the refining fire that turns ordinary souls into extraordinary vessels. And it is in this very silence that the chosen begin to hear the call that will change not only their life, but the lives of many others. One of the hardest lessons a chosen one must learn is that not everyone can walk with them. Not everyone has the capacity to handle the weight of their calling. Not everyone deserves a seat at the table of their destiny. This is why the circle of the chosen must remain small. It is natural to want to bring everyone along, to believe that the friends you grew up with, the people you love, or the ones who once supported you should always be by your side. But the reality is, elevation requires separation. As your purpose grows heavier, your circle must grow lighter. Carrying too many people into your destiny will only slow you down, drain your energy, and cloud your focus. Think of it like climbing a mountain. At the base, the path is wide, and many people can walk beside you. But as you climb higher, the path narrows, the air grows thinner, the climb demands more strength and focus. At that point, only a few can continue with you. Not because the others are bad people, but because they are not equipped for the climb you are called to make. Your assignment is too sacred to be surrounded by those who cannot handle its altitude. The chosen ones must realize that not everyone in their life has the same role. Some are seasonal. They were only meant to walk with you for a short time. Others are situational. They were placed in your life for a specific purpose or lesson. And only a rare few are covenantal. They are aligned with you for the long haul, equipped to support and sharpen you in your journey. The mistake many make is trying to keep seasonal and situational people in permanent roles. And when that happens, destiny becomes delayed. Having a small circle also protects the chosen from sabotage. Not everyone around you is for you. Some will smile at your face but secretly envy your light. Some will cheer for you in public but criticize you in private. Others will simply not understand the weight of your vision, and their constant doubt will weaken your confidence. Protecting your circle is not about arrogance. It is about wisdom. It is about recognizing that you cannot share sacred dreams with careless listeners. The truth is, chosen ones carry something rare, and what is rare must be guarded. Diamonds are not thrown in the street for everyone to pick up. They are kept in vaults, handled carefully, and shared only with those who understand their value. In the same way, your vision, your energy, your purpose cannot be entrusted to everyone. Only those who respect it, nurture it, and align with it deserve access. But here's the challenge: having a small circle can feel lonely. It can feel like you are missing out, like everyone else has dozens of friends while you only have a handful. Yet, what you must understand is that depth matters more than numbers. One loyal companion, one trusted confidant, one friend who truly understands your spirit is worth more than a crowd of acquaintances who only know the surface version of you. Jesus had thousands who followed him, but he chose 12 to walk closely with him. And even within that 12, he had 3 who were with him in his most intimate moments. This shows us a principle: not everyone deserves equal access to your life. Your assignment demands that you discern who belongs in the outer crowd, who belongs in the inner circle, and who belongs in the sacred core. The chosen must also understand that walking with too many people invites unnecessary noise. Too many opinions, too many distractions, too many conflicting energies. Your circle is not just about companionship, it is about alignment. The ones closest to you should sharpen your vision, not blur it. They should lift your spirit, not drain it. They should challenge you to rise higher, not pull you down to stay comfortable. So if your circle is small, do not be discouraged. That is not a sign of lack. It is a sign of divine protection. It means you are guarding your destiny from voices that could weaken it. It means you are choosing depth over numbers, alignment over popularity, and purpose over comfort. Remember this: not everyone can walk with you, and that's okay. You are not meant to carry everyone. You are meant to carry your assignment, and the few who truly belong in your circle will not hold you back. They will push you forward. For the chosen ones, exposure is costly. Too much exposure, too many interactions, too many conversations, too much presence in the lives of others drains their spirit and leaves them unfocused. Unlike the average person, who may thrive on constant activity and social stimulation, the chosen are wired differently. Their spirit requires balance, and when that balance is broken, they pay for it with their energy, their clarity, and their purpose. The truth is, the chosen carry a rare kind of light, and light, when overexposed, begins to dim. If a lamp is left burning all day and night without pause, eventually the oil runs dry. In the same way, when chosen ones are constantly giving of themselves, listening, helping, serving, pouring into others, they eventually run out of the fuel that keeps them aligned. Too much exposure means too much pouring, and without intentional restoration, the vessel becomes empty. This is why chosen ones often feel exhausted after being around large groups, even when nothing bad happens. It's not that they dislike people. It's that people take energy, whether consciously or unconsciously. Every conversation is an exchange, every presence carries weight, and every interaction requires a part of you. For the chosen, these exchanges go deeper than surface-level words. They are absorbing emotions, discerning intentions, and navigating unseen energies. That process, while powerful, is also draining. When exposure becomes excessive, the chosen one begins to lose focus. The clarity of their vision blurs. The fire of their passion flickers. Their inner guidance becomes harder to hear. Why? Because they have given away too much of themselves without returning to the source of their strength. They become scattered, pulled in too many directions, weighed down by energies that do not belong to them. This is why boundaries are essential. Chosen ones must learn to say no without guilt. They must learn that protecting their spirit is not selfish. It is necessary. Every time they say yes to something unaligned, they are saying no to their clarity. Every time they overextend themselves in places that drain them, they lose focus on the mission that fuels them. Think of it like a phone battery. No matter how advanced or powerful the device is, it cannot function endlessly without being recharged. The chosen may have great spiritual capacity, but they are not unlimited. Too much exposure without recharge leads to burnout, distraction, and even disconnection from their calling. The world may tell them to always be available, always be present, always be giving. But the truth is, chosen ones are most effective when they protect their energy and give from overflow, not emptiness. Another danger of overexposure is vulnerability to outside influence. When you are constantly exposed to different voices, opinions, and energies, you begin to lose sight of your own. You start to carry emotions that aren't yours, fight battles that don't belong to you, and bear weights that were never meant for your shoulders. This spiritual overload creates confusion, scattering your focus and weakening your resolve. The chosen cannot afford this. Their purpose requires a sharp mind and a steady heart, and both are compromised when they stay too exposed for too long. This is why seasons of withdrawal are so important. After being among people, chosen ones must retreat to realign. Just as Jesus often withdrew to the mountains or the wilderness to pray, chosen ones today must find their own places of restoration. Whether through solitude, prayer, meditation, or simply silence, they must refill what has been poured out. Exposure is not the enemy, but exposure without restoration is dangerous. If you are chosen, you must remember that you are not called to be everywhere, with everyone, all the time. Your presence is powerful, but it is also precious. To protect your focus, you must be selective. Not every request deserves your wise. Not every crowd deserves your time. Not every opportunity is truly meant for you. By guarding your exposure, you guard your clarity. And by guarding your clarity, you guard your destiny. So if you have ever wondered why too much social interaction leaves you drained, why too much giving leaves you empty, or why too much exposure makes you lose focus, it is because your spirit is not designed to be spread so thin. Your calling requires depth, not diffusion, and that means protecting yourself from overexposure. Remember, the chosen shine brightest not when they are everywhere, but when they are aligned, focused, and connected to their source. Protect your energy, protect your clarity, and never forget that too much exposure is not harmless, it is costly.